Good morning, my loves. Welcome to a whole new month of The Missing Piece magazine. I'm Tabitha, joining you for some more juicy tidbits on love, relationships, sensuality, all that juicy power that lights our lives up and really dims it down when it is not moving right for us. So this month's issue, we're talking about overwhelm, and I wanted to talk to you a little bit about overwhelm in relationships. Specifically, overwhelm at the loss of intimacy, the loss of connection in relationships. And this is something that I see so much with clients coming to me, the people in my communities, is this frustration of what happens when you feel like that connection is starting to separate, when that vibrancy is starting to dim, when the newness is wearing off, and you really start to feel like you're just roommates with your significant other, whether you're married, living together, even if you're just dating and you feel this connection withering away. It can be terrifying. And, the physical intimacy starts to be affected by this. Your mental stability, your emotional stability, everything, it hits every area. You can start feeling uninspired in your career, uninspired with your friends, like your body starts to feel droopy. It's amazing the impact that offsets in our intimate relationships can have throughout the entire rest of our lives, and how transformative they can be at the same time. So when you're feeling deeply connected and really fulfilled and lit up by your intimate relationships, how that transforms into every other part of your life as well. So if you're noticing having problems, check. How are you feeling about your romantic relationships? And this can be a really fun way to transform your whole life, is by focusing on this. So with the overwhelming feelings and emotions and fears and insecurities that pop up when you start feeling that connection fading or dimming down or becoming disconnected a bit, what is the impact of this? Well, we've talked a little bit about some of that already, like how it merges into the rest of your life, your health, your well-being, everything. But what about specifically in your relationships? Well, there's the whole roommate syndrome of where you just feel like your ship's passing in the night. You are living life in the same capacity with each other, but there's not really any point where you're deeply connecting with each other anymore. Libido loss, that is a huge one, especially for my female clients. That's one of the number one complaints of when they start noticing that they're feeling disconnected in their relationship, is when their sex drive plummets. When that yummy, juicy man or woman who used to make their toes curl just by coming up, looking them into their eyes and giving them a kiss on the forehead, now makes them feel completely dead and numb and not alive, not desirable, not lit up and hungry for that touch anymore. So this is actually one of the biggest complaints with the couples that I work with, or the individuals that I work with, because it's not all couples, is that when their libido dropped, that was their big wake-up sign that something was wrong. So obviously, you can also have your satisfaction, your joy, your inspiration, your adventure, your taste, your zest for life when it comes to your relationship diminishes when you're feeling disconnected from your partner. You may not want to spend as much time together. You may try to spend time together and it just completely flops. Like, what do you talk about? Well, you don't really know what to talk about. There's just this slight level of awkwardness. And when you combine that with some of the resentment that comes up when you're feeling disconnected about how your needs aren't being met, your partner's feeling the same way. So you both have this wall of a little bit of resentment, a little bit of irritation, a little bit of jealousy for maybe other things they feel might be getting more of your attention, like pets, kids, career, friends, etc. There's all kinds of stuff that just graze and messes up this whole area. So it can make the time you do set aside to connect with your partner still not conducive to connection. So what the fuck do you do when you're at this place where you want your partner, you love your relationship, you don't want to see it continue to just disintegrate and fall apart? Or you've seen this happen over and over again and you're not currently in a relationship, but you don't want to see this become the pattern for all of your intimate connections. Well, there are solutions, my dear, and that's what I'm here to share a few with you today. One of the big ones is prioritize. What is your commitment to your relationship? Because if you're not really willing to make it a priority and you're not willing to make it a high commitment on your list, there's no need to listen to the rest of this video because it's not going to help you at all. Your relationship has got to become one of your top priorities. Your relationship has got to be something you are willing to commit to seriously, to making sure that you can stop the path that you're going to now and shift it to a more desirable one that is going to be more fulfilling, fantastic, and sexy, and connected, and steamy, and that soulful, legendary love that you've been wanting. It requires commitment first. And this is different than just saying, oh, well, we're married, so we're committed. No. You really got to commit to this. 100%. So that is step one, really committing to transforming where you're at. Number two, there's a wonderful quote. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And there's also one that the same mind that created the problem cannot solve the problem because it's the mind that created it. So the second step to really getting this transformation done is getting help and accountability from someone outside of the problem who already knows how to navigate this stuff and can help take you by the hand, whether you're doing this on your own and hoping it shifts your relationship, or whether you and your partner are doing this together. It can be amazing both ways. So if you're thinking, oh, my partner's not going to go for any of this, don't worry. You can do this on your own and see dramatic effects in your relationship. So you've got to have that mentor, that teaching person, that accountable person, that one that's going to challenge you to step outside of yourself, show you a new perspective, and help you create new patterns. You've got to have the support and the accountability to stay consistent with this, and that person that you can go to vent to and help you resolve situations as they pop up in a way that most friends and family can't, because they're already going to have their own mindsets about everything. So the third is making it consistent. So you have committed, you have got support and accountability, and you're following through with that priority, that commitment, and that teaching, that learning, the education, by setting aside time to really make sure that you're getting this done. So one of my favorite things to do that I've been doing with my lover, and I absolutely enjoy, is sticking reminders on my phone. You know, they've got these fitness apps where you can download them, turn them on, and your phone, this is kind of creepy and kind of cool at the same time, but your phone can tell when you haven't been moving, when you've been using the phone but you haven't been moving. So every hour it'll send you alerts telling you to get your butt up and go walk around. So to keep you in your body, keep you circulating, keep you moving around, enjoying life, everything else. And it really, really helps a lot for people that have more stagnant jobs, like those that are sitting at desks and things like that, where they're doing, you know, pretty stationary work to get up and move their body. Or really mentally fatiguing work to stop, get out of your head, come back in your body, relax a bit, drink water, whatever, get a snack. All good stuff. You guys are getting a 2-for-1 training here. So it's kind of creating that same reminder and accountability with your cell phone helping you out. So it might be that 2 or 3 times a week you're setting aside 20 minutes where you and your partner turn off your cell phones, turn off the television, get away from all of your distractions, and really sit, even if it's just 20 minutes, and really connect with each other. It could just be snuggling up on the couch, feeling each other's bodies. It could be, there's some awesome tantric exercises that I love to incorporate into my teachings, and one of my favorites is soul gazing, where you and your partner quietly sit together, either knees touching, holding hands, trying to create some kind of body contact, and you just look into each other's eyes, relax, like not a staring contest, not seeing who can go the longest without blinking. This is really just taking a minute to really connect, look into the eyes of your partner, and be aware of where your mind goes through all of this. I tend to be the person whose mind is going 1,000,000 miles an hour. I'm thinking about 5 things at once all the time. And my partner has a very quiet mind, so it's really easy for him to just blank out and just be present. But it is not for me. I'm going everywhere, so I have to be very conscious when I'm trying to create connection with him that I'm not staying in my head. So, I see both sides usually in different couples that I work with. So which one are you? Are you the one who finds it really hard to be in the moment? Well, you're really going to have to face this if you're working on soul gazing. You're going to have to really come back and continuously work on your breath, look in your partner's eyes, and be there with your partner. And don't be surprised at all the emotions that might pop up. I've had some clients, myself included, who have cried, who have laughed, who have gotten angry, who have gone numb, who have tried to disassociate from the experience. It's wild. All the things that pop up when you stop and you give yourself that time to really connect and just be with your partner. So give that a try. So have your reminders for connection. Try soul gazing. You could try exchanging foot massages. You could try getting on Google, and this is actually a pretty fun one, and looking up like questions to ask on a first date or questions to ask a boyfriend or girlfriend. And some of these are hilarious and some of them are pretty ridiculous, but just stuff that you can do to completely change the tone of everything you're doing and get away from talking about bills and kids and work and everything else and really just explore your partner again. So the last tip, so you've got prioritizing your commitment into your relationship, getting the support and accountability you need, setting aside time and starting to do those little creation exercises. And the fourth piece to resolving all of this is really powerful, clear, and compelling communication. Communication is the biggest foundation for all of this, but it doesn't have to be difficult. There are some really, really good tricks to making sure that when you're trying to communicate with your partner, you're doing it in a way that invites them to come closer instead of pushes them away and puts them on the defensive. And this video does not have time to go into all of that, but keep in mind when you're talking to your partner that you're not doing things from an accusational point. So if you're wanting to say, I'd really love to spend time with you, you're not saying, you never give me any time, you never give me any attention, you never do anything that I want. That is not going to create an environment of intimacy and desire to connect. So what you might try instead is saying, I miss you, I feel disconnected, I would really love to have 20 minutes of time with you where we could just set aside all of the distractions and just be together. It's a very different energy. So be very conscious when you're communicating your desires with your partner, your fears, your insecurities, that you're doing it from a very neutral standpoint instead of a, I'm accusing you, you're not making me happy standpoint. So that was a lot of information. Quick recap. Being overwhelmed by the loss of intimacy. It's wild. It impacts every part of your life, but it can really be a libido killer, inspiration killer, joy killer. It will slowly erode your entire relationship. And this is why it feels so overwhelming. Because usually when we start to feel this disconnect, we're worried that it's the kiss of death, that our partner is not the one we're meant to be with. But that's not necessarily true. You just may not have been prioritizing each other. You may not have been getting the support and the accountability you need. You may not have been setting aside regular amounts of time to work on your relationship and connect. And you may not have been communicating very well. So these 4 pieces, explore these. Grab a notebook, watch the video again, and write down little tips that you want to keep in mind. Anything that you want to take away from this. That guy's cute back there, isn't he? He's my coaching guardian. And if you have any questions about all of this, definitely reach out to me. I am here for you. This is the benefit of being part of the magazine. So you can email me. You can find me on Facebook. You can get on my website and submit some questions through the website. Any way you want to communicate me, it is right there. Just click on the little boxes below and let's talk. Let's see how we can decrease your overwhelm in your relationship and bring it back to that deep, juicy, legendary love. Mwah! I'll see you next month.